Welcome to James Hates Everything for Saturday night, November 16th, 2024. And we have a huge show for you tonight. Of course, we're going to talk leaked Black Friday sales and rumors. Then we're going to talk about the woes of the Arcade1up claw machine that keeps coming and happening one right after another. So, got some interesting news there. And then what we were going to talk about, we're going to fast forward just a little bit because you may have seen on the thumbnail, I asked the question, is home arcade dead? Of course, a question we've asked around here forever, specifically about Arcade1up, but we're talking in general. After the misery that has been 2024, filled with anticipation and constant letdowns, I wanted to talk about that a little bit as we look towards 2025. But somebody saw that thumbnail and decided to reach out. And so just a little bit ago, this is going to be huge, folks. I got a video. So a teaser of sorts of a company coming out with a new product that we've all been speculating on, and we get our taste of it for the first time right here. I'm freaking out. This thing is awesome. And I want to show it to you, but I had to promise a couple things. One, I'll only show the video once. And two, when the stream is over, I have to take the stream down. So it's going to be up there for just a little bit. You're going to see it for a little bit, and then we're going to move on. Not going to belabor it too much because they just want to shove it out there, see what happens. And I'm fired up. I'm getting kind of little heart palpitations here because it is so amazing. And but I want to give you guys time, right? I promised to take the stream down, show it only once, but that doesn't mean you guys can't get ready to take screenshots, record, whatever you want to do. So I'm going to give you a little bit of time to get set to do that if you're interested in doing that. You're going to be glad you're here early because we're doing this right now. And I'm going to do a countdown, and I'm just going to hit play on the video, and then we'll just go from there. So I'm going to start us off at 5, 4, 3. I mean, that was freaking insane. I can't believe how cool that was. Guys, if you're as pumped as me, spam the chat with ones. And while we're doing that, I want to say hi to everybody that is in the chat who showed up bright and early. Of course, we have Paul Mindeman. Thanks for dropping by. And he says, this looks like a rerun from 2023. And it sure seems that way. We have Thumper Squid. Thanks for dropping by, of course. The moderator of all moderators, Jason Lil Alien, and who can forget Alfred Berger is in the house. Danny from the Cornercade is here. We have Jim the Pacers fan. Always nice to see you guys. Sergeant is here. Games Plus came by, says hi to Cornercade. How do you like working at Best Buy? And there is some changes there, of course. Then we have, let's see, flying through here. Lots of conversations going on. End of the line says, hello, everyone. Stupid Fat Hobbit says, I'm like Netflix, buffering, hyped. Let's fucking go. Let's see. Paul Minvet's sound suddenly took a nosedive. Hello, Mr. Hates Everyone in chat, says Stock Jock. We have Daxinar. Thanks for dropping by. And let's see. Zero Redux is in the house. He is intrigued. Jason says, damn Netflix. Thanks, Netflix. Empire says, not again. I mean, look at all these people hyped at this video that we just showed. It is so amazing. Zero Cool is in the house. How is your claw machine running? Is it still worth buying on the edge? And we will talk about that a little bit tonight. And Pagasham says, I love Tales of the Claw Machine. And Manuel the Wise Guy, hi, James. Looking forward to what you got for us tonight. And Zero says, hi. But yeah, let's talk about some of these things right out the gate. Hope you appreciated the humor of Netflix, right? What a pain in the ass that was yesterday. So freaking annoying. All I wanted to do was watch that. Got to watch a couple of the undercards, and then it was a nightmare. I paying for Netflix over the top, you know, like more than you should pay in order to have like 4K and all that stuff. And the one thing I want to watch in probably the last month, I can't watch because it's buffering. But meanwhile, I can go to one of these bootleg streaming websites and watch it just fine through them. Like, why can somebody steal it, get it, but somebody who paying for it cannot? Just totally ridiculous. Totally nuts. My second wave claw will be here Thursday. Any chance these issues were only first wave? I'm hoping the China shop engineer was actually sober. So I don't think so, stupid fat hobbit. We'll talk about that a little bit. We've had now 3 deliveries. Another one came in on the 10th of claw machines. Based on that time frame, they would have all had to have left the warehouse, within days or a week of each other. So I'm guessing as we dive into that segment of the show, we're going to see these issues aren't as uncommon as we hope. We had issues with both Netflix and the bootleg sites. So there you go. Let me get things set up here real quick. Got to add a fancy overlay here. Here we go. All right. So first up, we are going to talk about some Black Friday news. So first up, we're going to talk Nintendo. Of course, everybody is a fan of the Nintendo Switch. I hope it's a great system, nice, affordable, still uses cartridges of sorts. So really good physical media. And with the Switch 2 looming on the edge, everybody's kind of interested in what is Nintendo going to do this year for Black Friday? Are they going to give us some last minute news about the Switch 2 before we get into 2025? Well, it doesn't look like it. Doesn't look like we're getting any real confirmation, but we are getting some unusually good deals on some Nintendo titles. And of course, if you're in the market for Joy-Cons, if you've got stick drift like a lot of people do, there is a $20 off deal going on for Black Friday. And of course, beginning on November 24th, there are going to be several games at $20 off. So Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, which is one of the best games on the Switch. Hours of fun, not only from a game perspective, but on creativity, the stuff you can build. If you don't own that, it's amazing. On Super Mario Maker 2, Animal Crossing, Nintendo Switch Sports, and Kirby and the Forgotten Land on sale $39.99. If you're a Nintendo fan, these first-party Nintendo titles rarely go on a significant discount, and here you're getting it down like it's basically 33% off. So great deal there. And even better, Super Mario Odyssey and the Pikmin 1 and 2 re-release are just $30. So half off of those titles. Pretty great deal for Nintendo Switch fans, or if you're getting new into Nintendo Switch at this point, I'd say why aren't you waiting for the Switch 2? But hey, there you go. Of course, we've got some bundles like they do every year with the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe bundle. We've got the OLED model, which is about going to be $80 off at $34.99. So that's a pretty good deal. $350. Obviously, looking to try to clear some of these older systems out before the launch of the new one, or at least the announcement of the new one. And the Mario Kart 8 bundles $299. So good deal there. Again, $80 off basically there. We also have the Nintendo Switch Hyrule Edition. that is still in store. So apparently, people didn't really want to pick up that collector's edition with the Zelda Echoes of Wisdom game, but it is also discounted to 209, which is about $40 off. It does not come with the game, unfortunately, but it is a limited edition gold Switch. So there you go. That's the big Nintendo Switch news for Black Friday. So let's now talk about some PlayStation. And of course, this is an interesting one. These got leaked and then confirmed when Sony accidentally left a screen on one of their ads yesterday that confirmed the leak. And then when they noticed, they pulled the ad so that people didn't see it. But what we are getting is a pretty big discount on the PS5. So if you're in the market for the PS5 Slim or the standard PS5 physical edition, they are both going to be $70 off starting Black Friday through December 24th. So basically for the rest of the year. And of course, it says here December 12th, but we know from the published ad from Sony, it's going to actually run through the 24th. So both systems are going to be $70 off. And I believe there's also a discount on the original PlayStation Portal. Where was that? Video games. Never. We expect discounts on. That's just speculation. Anyway, so that's the big deal on the Sony discount. Of course, is the $70 off the PS5. So if you've been in the market for one of those, now is the right time. $70 is a pretty steep discount. And heck, if you get the PS5 Slim with the disc drive, the way the prices are for the disc drive right now, for those people who want PS5 Pros, they're $150, $200 because they're hard to get. You could literally just take the drive off and flip it and now save even money if you're in there for just the digital edition. Let's see here. We've got Mike Hawkhurt says, did you see the new retro shooter Reaper with full recoil? Looks like a beast. I absolutely did. I watched Retro Ralph's in-depth video on that, and it looks amazing. It looks like I've never been interested in the retro shooters to date. They look okay, but it seemed like a lot of pain in the butt, quite frankly, for a not great high quality gun. But this new one looks insane, guys. They have gone the extra mile. Of course, not only do you have the solenoid for the real feedback and kick, you've got the rumble pack or whatever in the handle. It's got lights on the side for when you fire, so it almost looks like you're getting some of that flash out of the side of the gun. It looks great. It sounds great. And not only that, it seems to be performing faster and more accurately than Gun for IR, according to the tests that Retro Ralph did. So looks absolutely great and then seems to play absolutely great. So for the first time, and I've been kind of thinking about this for a while, building one of these giant shootercades, I'm really interested in picking up maybe like 4 of these and building one of those big like 50, 55-inch shooter cabinets with those, because it looks awesome and looks to play great, and it's quite the quality upgrade. So definitely check those guys out for sure. I'm very impressed, and I haven't got to play with it yet. Shen says, your number one source in all things claw machines. Indeed, it seems to be claw machine mania around here. RFK is bringing Nintendo cereal back, I heard. Yeah, maybe. I don't think he likes some of those artificial flavors. Kevin Claus says, does anyone know if Retroid Pocket S is capable of playing Switch games? Nintendo is cereal you can buy at the supermarket. I think it's a Lucky Charms, as I remember. I haven't touched the Switch since Mario Kart 8 disc all came out. That was the last year, I think. Yeah, they every year Nintendo goes back and beats that Mario Kart 8 drum with this holiday bundle, but this one is steeply discounted over prior years. So pretty great deal. But and of course Mario Kart 8 is the game that keeps on giving for them. Hope it doesn't have worms. I just did a live stream on Donkey Kong this past Tuesday. I see, are you talking about the playing Donkey Kong or the Donkey Kong theme park in Japan from the Nintendo Direct, which looked awesome? Let's see. Paul Miniman says the Reaper looks fantastic. We are here from PD7 now. Well, thanks for joining us. Hopefully he beat the game. I can't imagine he didn't. Oh yeah, the Reaper, of course. We're talking about that gun. Just got a decent PC to run Batacera light gun build, and you're set. Exactly. And there is Phil in the chat. Thanks for joining us, PD7. And let's see, Jim the Pacers fan says, I'll pay for shipping if you want to send us a free claw machine. I added free in there. Everything related to Donkey Kong. Very cool. All right. So that's it on the leaks for Black Friday. Let's talk about what may be. Let's talk about some conjecture. And I'll give the AtGames folks who have their affiliate codes. Now's your chance. Drop it in the chat. If you want to drop your affiliate code, just let people know. Because currently there's an AtGames sale going on, much like the sale from a few weeks ago, much like the sale from the Pinball Expo. And so we can kind of take a look at this sale and kind of imagine and guess what our sale for Black Friday may actually be. Of course, you've got a little under 2 days left to take a opportunity of this sale. You know, there's a lot of great tables here that are at a pretty decent price, right? You got the $11.99 for the Jurassic Park Starter Edition. You know, we got the $12.49 for the Addams Family. I think these are the standard starters, right? Though the picture has the topper and everything on there, so I'm assuming that bundle comes with it. I haven't dove into these much because I already own one of these, but still wanted to show these off. And of course, right now you have the Legends 4K SSF kit for $299. I actually just took advantage of this, so I finally bought myself the SSF kit for my 4KP. So that should be here in a few days, so I can join everybody else and say how amazing that thing is. I did get a chance to play it at the Pinball Expo, and I think that convinced me to do it. There was no way I was going to pay $400 for it. It's just too much. I would have preferred 200. 200 seems like about the right price considering it's only for this table, but beggars can't be choosers. So 300 was decent enough discount. Of course, you have your big Legends Pinball 4K Sea of Thieves. The design, in my opinion, so looks good on this table, but the theme, not my favorite. I mean, I don't play this game, don't really care to play this game. The style, art style on the game is kind of not my favorite video game art style, but the design work on it looks great. So I you know, if you like it, the game, that's awesome. But I do have to say, this is one of the first tables, other than like Attack from Mars and maybe to a lesser extent, Addams Family. Certainly Peanuts is good. Those all look good, whether you care whether it matches the table design or not. Like obviously Attack from Mars is a good recreation where Addams Family isn't, but this Sea of Thieves actually looks pretty good. It's got areas of improvement, but the design work is spot on. So congratulations to AtGames for making a good looking one, even if it's an IP I just really do not care about. Then there's the other typical sales. So my guess is as we roll into Black Friday with AtGames, we are going to see these exact same deals come right back. Seems like we've gotten the same one every 2 weeks for the last month. So I don't anticipate something different except for maybe the SSF kit isn't on there and maybe the SSF kit comes back for the December sale. Because it seems like that one was on, then off, now back on. But it looks like the basic discounts off the 4KPs are going to be about the same. I imagine we might get some sort of discount on some of the Mad Pixel tables, like the Zachariah, the Gottlieb, stuff like that. We're not going to get any kind of discounts on Zen, but the Zen tables are already so drastically less expensive that honestly, they don't need to really give us discounts on those, in my opinion, though we'd take them, I'm sure. But that's my speculation on AtGames. I wouldn't count on any major giant sale from them. You're just going to get one of the typical discounts. But what I'm hearing today, and maybe the Cornercade can confirm this, is that now anybody who's a referral person, like Cornercade, like Papa Brad, T. McCluskey, I know there are a few other people out there that got accepted into that program, that now their code works for any of the 4KPs. So you can save an additional $40 off any of them. That's what I'm being told, right? I haven't confirmed that. I saw Papa Brad's post that said if you use his, you can get it off of any table, but it's unclear to me whether it's just him or whether it's everybody. So, Danny, if you've heard from AtGames any different, I would be interested in confirming that. Otherwise, it seems Papa Brad has an extra special code than other people. So I'm hoping it's just everybody. That's what was implied. So, would be nice to know for sure. But who doesn't want an extra $50? Yes, Brooklyn. Brooklyn's affiliate code charges you an extra $50. Yes, and if you if I had a code, because AtGames hates James, it wouldn't even allow you to check out. It says AtGames sales are often not much more than the cost of shipping. That is true. Um, these are slightly better than just the cost of shipping, so it's, knocking set like for example, the SSF kit I bought, right? They knocked $100 off. It cost $30 shipping. So I still saved $70 off of what I would pay. They also don't charge tax for some reason, even though, when you ship from the United States, within the United States, you're required to pay tax. But they're paying that on their end. So that saves me some money. So you add the tax, that would be kind of a wash for the shipping, and you're still saving around that $100. Corner Case says, let's go save that money, $40. I haven't heard anything yet. So that's interesting. So it may indeed be just Papa Brad's that's getting the $50 off of all the 4KPs, not just Sea of Thieves. So that would be interesting. You may follow up and check up with the AtGames folks to see if there is some imbalance there or just a lack of communication on that discount. Mike Hawkert says, still haven't connected my 4KP to Wi-Fi because my move is getting hectic, but still enjoying the free 12 built-in games and think is money well spent already. Yeah, definitely. And good luck with your move. That's always a headache. Know how that can be. And yeah, I mean, the 4KP, I'm really digging it. So once they fix the lag issues, I really do enjoy it. I know I'm not a fan of some of the graphic design work, but the table itself is pretty great. I wish AtGames would get right with consumers and at least disclaim that the tables were up to 4K and not necessarily in 4K. That's just the right and legal thing to do. But just the same, I really enjoy the 4KP and think it's definitely been of the products that have actually shipped this year that you can actually play and enjoy. It's probably the product of the year because there really isn't anything else we can talk about, right? There's been really nothing else in that vein. And I think Jason, I saw a little bit ago, said there's going to be some new financing options. $500 down pay plus shipping to start paying the balance forward. So there you go. That's the new financing. I'll be holding my money for a while. Let's see what Wonderland Amusements has. Yeah. So you mentioned CES, right? Cornercade and I were fortunate to be invited over to P Dubs on stream on Thursday. And I don't know if you guys saw that or not. But that's where I've heard for the first time that, and maybe I heard it before and forgot, but that's, I think, where I heard for the first time that Media 1UP is going to be at CES. So you got to think January is the day. Are we going to hear in January what they're actually releasing? Of course, we've also heard in the past that Arcade1up is going to be at CES. Could we have Media 1UP, Arcade1up, and Wonderland all at CES? All those people used to work together. That ought to make for an interesting CES, right? All these people that used to work on the same team now off doing their own things together at the same show. Might have to go. That might be a very interesting show indeed. Asking Mike which table he has, and he has the Attack from Mars, which is the best looking one in my opinion. Positive vibes, Mike, for the move. So let's move over to the last company we are going to speculate on when it comes to Black Friday sales. And that's Arcade1up. I'm only showing Kohl's because at least there's something on sale at Kohl's right now, right? You can get a Big Blue for $100 off. You can get, what is it, the X-Men for $600, which to me is still not a deal. They had a few other things on here, right? The Golden Axe for $4.99. So these are the things they're trying to blow out, get rid of. So they're kind of on this permanent discount that we pretend is a sale. But Kohl's just ended a sale on those new countercades, right? Right here, these countercade 7s, which we all saw now have a 16:9 screen in them. They do come with a USB cord and power supply, so you can play them while plugged in, but they also have AA battery slots, so you can play them without the being plugged in. And the Kohl's just ended a sale on them where they were only $99, so 33% off right out of the gate. You also at the time got your Kohl's Cash with that, which was like $20 in Kohl's Cash, making these things effectively $80 if you were into this particular model, which I'm not, but at $80, it's very much a impulse buy for people. That sale has ended, but I would not be surprised if we don't see that back for Black Friday. I've also been seeing all the cabs that are coming in from Arcade1up, and I can tell you they are going hard on Class of 81, the Peasant Cades for Walmart, the Pac-Man, Legacy, Golden Tee. They are really upping their stock of the handful of titles they have in the marketplace right now, mainly those cabs, some of the NBA Jam, Slim Katie's, and of course the new one, the Pac-Man Legacy Edition. But those 4 or 5 SKUs, in addition to the Infinity game table and game boards, are shipping like crazy. They are getting in ships every couple days, loaded with multiple containers of these things. So they are flooding the market right now. And that to me says some of these things are going to be on a massive discount. Probably not huge, right? Not like you're going to get them for $200. But I think we saw they just came off a sale where all these cabs were basically $100 off. It would not surprise me if we see maybe 100 to 150 off of some of these. Because of the sheer number they're bringing in. Obviously, they have the deal with Target with the new display and kiosk on those Class of 81s. Those would be the ones I think are most likely going to go on sale. I think you're going to see Kohl's do the countercades on sale. Again, along with great Kohl's Cash for the holidays. So keep your eye on those. I think that's where we're going to see the biggest discounts. Again, all speculation on my part, but based off the sheer number of cabs being brought in, I can't see them not this year actually doing a big sale. Last year, we really didn't get anything out of Arcade1up, and that wasn't too much of a surprise, but the ship rates have gone way up this year. So they are definitely pushing hard through the holiday seasons. Of course, it's possible we see nothing. But I really do think we're going to see something big at a bare minimum on Class of 81. There's going to be some kind of big Black Friday push with Target. If I were a betting man, that's where I think we're going to be. Says, how do you like your claw machine? So that's a perfect segue, because why beat the dead horse that is Arcade1up? Let's talk about the claw machine, shall we? Before I get into my opinions of the claw machine, let's find out what everybody else is. We're now seeing, now that these have shipped, the pre-orders have all shipped, the second waves are shipping, so people have been able to now buy these for a week or so on Amazon, at other retailers from the 12th. We're starting to see the reviews come in. I think this is very interesting, and I know it's probably hard to read on this screen, but I wanted to share a little bit with you. Right now, there's just 15 reviews in, but that's growing fast. Amazon has to review all these. There's new regulations around these. So basically, you can pretty much guarantee all these people are verified purchasers. So these aren't people just spamming and throwing stuff on there now. This is legit buyers, and there's some interesting info. Of course, you see this ratio here: 44% 5 stars, 39% 1 star. Got a 4 stars and then maybe a 3 star in there. But as we dig into these, and we're not going to read them all, but we're going to highlight a couple of them, you're going to find that it's actually reverse of that. There's a 5-star review in here that actually is not a very good review for this claw machine. And you're going to see that if this ratio holds true, man, over half of people are having problems with this claw machine. So that does not bode well for this product, especially in the long term. And of course, we're just going to drop right in. I have these most recent, so we're going to see the newest ones first. And of course, we have this purchaser who says, verified purchaser, gives it 1 star, said, I really wanted to love this, the claw machines, but this needed way more QA. It feels rushed. Almost everyone is having problems with the claw dropping. Their support solution is to unscrew the control board and do a bunch of button combos to reset it. This could be fine if it were a one-time fix, but it's a constant problem. My cabinet came scratched too. The final straw was about 100 plays. The claw is now making a loud clicking noise whenever you press the button to drop it. I'm returning mine because for $500, this should be looking and working flawlessly. I recognize this guy who is having some problems with his, but says the kids absolutely love it. The problems with his are the claw's too big. I think we've talked about that before. And the settings of the difficulty don't seem to work. Scam mode is just as easy as easy mode. Something's wrong there. We got a fantastic game. Says Ricardo, a little tiring to assemble, but worth it. We have another 1-star. Claw stops working intermittently. So this is again the problem we've heard about. Wanted to like this machine, but 3 out of 10 times the claw stops working. It moves, it stops moving, and or doesn't drop down. I heard they had issues prior to releasing the machine. I'm disappointed because I've been enjoying other arcade machines in the past from 1UP, but the quality of the claw machine is just bad. Again, another verified purchaser. And we have a $4.99 super chat from Ezekiel, the Chicago Retro Ranger. Appreciate the super chat. He says, hello, Mr. President. Make Arcade1up again. And wouldn't that be absolutely nice? And again, thank you for the super chat. Wrong video. Meatball, again, thanks for the super chat. Of course, P-Dubs loves them super chats. He says, Meatball Saucy, love that you acknowledge your speculation statements and call them out. Yeah, I just wanted to be clear. The first two are confirmed Black Friday, the Switch and the what was the other one? Sony, the PlayStation, but the AtGames and things like that, just a pure guess. And speculation based on past behavior, what we're seeing, some evidence, but it is just speculation. Kevin Clausen hits us with another $2 super chat, says, I want a clip of Elway throwing a touchdown. Well, you and me both, because he is the GOAT. I always double click Glenn for some reason. Thank you very much, Kevin, for the super chat. And I might have to work one of those in there. Lord knows there are quite a few. Let's see. Stupid Fat Hobbit, or I'm reading two different things at once. I know Arcade1up really wants to get $4.99 for the claw machine, but with no license, the sort of product that could mass produce for under $300. I do not disagree with you, especially when we look at what some of those parts cost on AliExpress, and you see that they're basically identical, so they're using the same things. Bobby Broadway says, my instructions look like someone wiped their butt with it at the factory. Well, that's not good. Maybe the claw stop working is the scam mode. There you go. So let's go back. Of course, we got another 5-star one who's having fun with it. So far so good, better than expected. Have not had any mechanical issues. I plan on adding some Govee lights and a few other mods, but I'm still having a blast with the mods and accessories. Of course, you can see he's got some fun lights going on in here. So he is happy and having a blast. Then we have Angela, who says, 1 star, I'm still unable to use it. Not able to use it because the L-shaped plexiglass that keeps the balls from falling is missing from the package. The claw and sounds as well as the lights all work, but not being able to use it makes it $500 plus $138 in prizes. An ornament. I emailed them and was told I may get the price or the piece when and if they get the part in their warehouse inventory. I'm just about to take it all apart and send it back. So here's a case where that little plexiglass that she needs to keep the prize chute from prizes just falling down in there was not included, and Arcade1up doesn't have any replacements available, which is interesting because I've heard from another person, or maybe I read it in here, I can't remember, that there was a part that they had an issue with, and Arcade1up support actually had it flown in from China to replace that motor that wasn't making loud noises and not working right. And so he got it 3 days later. So they put on a rush and actually had it sent from overseas, which is hat tip to them, but they're not going to be able to do that for everybody. It's going to make them go broke, I think. CJ says, works good. Don't listen to the haters. It's better than I thought at all possible. D here. This is one where 5 stars, but says worked for 2 days. So interesting rating. He said assembly went fine and then it worked. Okay. Got it on a Wednesday, and now today, Friday, the claw no longer descends. Reached out to support, still waiting for a reply. He updates it later. Customer service was very helpful and efficient. I was able to get it working again with their help. Again, this sounds like the same issue with the claw dropping, and he got the little reset. Warrior Poet says he gave it a 3-star, came with a malfunctioning claw motor. We're seeing a pattern here, right? The motor that powers it from front to back was seized on arrival. I coaxed it to life by helping to push it while using the controls at the same time, and it loosened it and it started working. It's loud now. I think it was a gear or a bearing with a burr on it. Now it's loud because of loose material in it. They said they will send me a new claw assembly. I hope so, as I love the size and look of it. And of course, he has a little video there of it not moving and just buzzing at him. And then we have from Black Dog says, don't bother, 1 star. First off, customer service is awful. Machine was delivered and set up. Day one claw mechanism didn't work properly. I contacted them via email, which is the only way you can. They emailed back with instruction to unfreeze the claw. That didn't work, so I had to email them again and still haven't heard from them. And we are now on day 4. Of course, we have a whole nother page of these. Chronic 7 says, broke within the first 15 minutes. Don't buy, wait for revision. I got to play it 9 times before the claw stopped working. It's no longer dropping. Don't bother calling tech support. It's not a software issue. It's a mechanical engineering issue. I'm going to return this piece of junk. Chris says it's perfect for his game room. Everything works. Little W says, bad instruction, but the fun arcade bad instructions, but fun arcade addiction. Can't talk. Fun arcade edition. The balls are difficult to open and put together, and that is the truth, which is both good and bad because it makes sure they're really secure, but it is really hard to close some of them and get them back open. If you're a fan of claw machines, he would recommend it. So again, not a ton of reviews, but several just the same, and even the ones that are 4 and 3 star actually seeing lots of problems. Even some of the 5 stars seeing problems. So the vast majority of people that are at least caring to put a review up are having issues with this machine, which is super, super disappointing. Does taking the grips off the claw affect gameplay? It would. The grips are actually help, but you typically, owners put them on or take them off of real claw machines. When you have the grips, they help make it a little easier to win. Without the grips, you can still win, but it's going to slide off of various prizes more easily, especially a smooth prize, something that's smooth like those balls, or certain plush that don't have like long hair on them, like that you can grip, will just slide right through them. That's intentional, right? You want some of that. So I've left mine on. I think most people are going to leave theirs on. They even send you a second set in case you do take them off and lose them, I guess. If anyone wants to know how to pronounce my last name, it's Claw Son. Yes, he's the son of the claw. That is forever will be Kevin's name. Kevin, son of the claw. You are the postman. Dances with claws. So you guys asked, how's mine doing? Well, mine is doing great. I mentioned I had the one problem where the difficulty meter doesn't work. I don't know what the deal is. I took the thing apart. There's some dip switches in there that you can change. I changed them to every possible setting, tested over and over. It didn't work. I disconnected the jumpers, put them back on. Just nothing's fixed. It works, it plays, but it's really too easy. I have not opened a ticket with support yet, which I plan on doing. I don't know what effect it has. It still works, so I'm not too worried about it, but it would be nice if it wasn't so easy to win every single time. But it's not really for me. It's for my kids anyway. So they still enjoy it a lot, and there's still challenge in it there for them. And then Jim the Pacers fan. So we heard about everyone else. How was your experience? So the other thing I did, and got this from, so I did another mod to mine besides putting in, if you guys missed it last week, I put in some fish tank gravel and some glass beads to get some extra light and some stability to the balls and other things in there. That's worked out perfect. I love it. It looks good. But I watched Your Gaming Techie's review. He did a really long review when he got his earlier this week. I definitely recommend checking that out. But he caught something really good. It's one of the bad things about this claw is when you move that claw, the light on the inside flashes during the move. And I don't know why they did it that way, but it's kind of distracting. It's hokey, doesn't look good. So your gaming techie, what he did is just switched the plugs that they were connected into, and it's like, that is genius. I'm doing that. So I did that as well. So now the marquee blinks instead of the light inside the claw machine. Looks infinitely better. You could also get, looks like the power is exactly the same as almost every other Arcade1up light in the in any cab. So as you guys know, many of those cabs have the splitter for the power. So you could easily take one of those Y adapters, plug both the light and the marquee light into that same Y adapter, put that into, I believe it's the number 1 slot, and the blinking just goes away entirely, which is the way this thing should have been designed because the blinking looks stupid, to be quite frank. So that's one thing I did. I think that improved at least the one of the annoying things about it quite a bit. But it's been working great. My kids played it again today. Both had a blast doing it. I've I've mentioned a few people, like my wife came down and played it one night and left it on, so it was on all night long. So we've heard that potentially leaving it on will cause issues. No, when I noticed it was on the next day, I just started playing it, worked fine. I've had 0 mechanical issues, knock on wood. So, it's working great for me for whatever reason. So I hopefully it keeps up with that way. As of right now, I'm happy. Now let's talk about what I'm not happy with. And if you guys were here in the chat earlier, you may have seen Jim the Pacers fans note as well. Mickey even said, James, did you put fish in your claw machine yet? I did not. Says, I know you're turning it into an aquarium. Indeed. So the let's talk claw machine, right? So I mentioned a long time ago, obviously I was hyped for this claw machine, that I pre-ordered it from Books a Million because they were the first one to have it up for pre-order. Well, then they canceled the pre-order. So then in a panic, I bought it at 2 different places. So first I bought it at Pop Market because Pop Market is owned and run by Alliance Entertainment, who is Arcade1up's exclusive distributor. It says right under Pop Market, an Alliance Entertainment company or whatever. So I ordered it there because nobody else had it, but they still had it available for pre-order. Then one came available at Amazon, so I went ahead and placed a second order at Amazon. Luckily, Amazon filled theirs. So as soon as I got a notification that theirs was shipping, I canceled mine. So on November 1st, I canceled my pre-order at Pop Market. Pop Market confirmed they canceled my order. I checked my card. They reversed the charge. So there was no charge on my card. I could see the reversal payment on there. And then 2 days ago, was it 2 days ago or was it yesterday? I can't remember. I think it was 2 days ago. I think it was Thursday. They sent me a notice that my claw had shipped. And I'm like, what now? And so went and looked at my credit card number, and sure enough, they have charged me, but the charge says 1 penny. But it's subject to change. It's still just in the temporary, the pending charges. So it could change to $4.99. I immediately, after getting that notice, contacted their customer service and said, I canceled this. You guys confirmed it's canceled. What is going on? They've never replied back to me. And then I hear from Jim the Pacers fan today, of course, got the actual tracking yesterday, and it shows, yep, it's left. It's come. It'll be here next week. Got that notice this morning. Of course, they had tracking before, but it had never actually left the warehouse. But now it has. FedEx has it. And it's coming. So I'm watching my credit card bill closely to see if that suddenly changes. But I'm very irritated because if they think I'm boxing, or, I'm going to carry this box, load it up into my truck and take it somewhere for them to come to send it back to them, they are sorely mistaken. They canceled this thing and I'm very irritated. Unless, of course, bank error works out in my favor and it's free, but I don't think that's going to happen. Jim the Pacers fan, same thing happened to him. I can't imagine how many other people maybe be in this boat that cancel their order with them because, one, of the company that is, and two, the issues that have been popping up online. I'm very curious what's going on here with Alliance Entertainment. These are obviously coming directly from the Alliance Entertainment factory. So I'm very curious as to why they would confirm to all these people that their orders were canceled 2 weeks ahead of the time that they shipped them out, and then still ship them out. That seems more than just some simple one-off error. And we've got multiple people in this scenario. So very, very, very suspicious in my opinion. Not sure what's going on there. If they just said, hey, let's just ship them anyway and see how many people actually cancel and send them back because it'll be hard, or if it indeed was just some innocent error. I'm very irritated. So that's my deal. And Jason, yeah, I mean that's my plan, is to reject it. Obviously, I work. I may or may not be working at home that day and have the opportunity to do that. So if they just leave it on my door, then their ass is sending somebody back to come get it because I ain't moving it. I didn't pay for it. I did my due diligence. They did not. And of course, Daddy's like, I'll take the claw machine off your hands. Well, it would be $4.99. Yeah, I'll tell you this. If I end up somehow with a free one, I'm selling it to recoup the money for the last one because, hey, that's how it works. But I don't think that's the case. I think I'm going to be rejecting it if at all possible, because I have a feeling that 1 penny charge is about to turn into the 500 and some dollars. Oh, yay. Two claw machines, indeed. Wayfair played those games with me on Golden Tee 3D, ordered from them, found it cheaper at Kohl's, canceled it, got an email confirmation saying canceled, then it shipped and charged me again. Yeah, that's super irritating. We have a receipt of the cancellations, which is a contract. You do not have to do crap. That's exactly right. And Jim says signature is required. That I did see that as well. Unfortunately, I think I already have a thing with FedEx specifically, because they always deliver at an inconvenient time that waives my signature requirement. So we'll see how that goes. Because half the time FedEx says my address doesn't even exist, but nobody else has that problem. Just do what I do at every restaurant I eat at. Sign your name is not authorized. There you go. See, Kevin, I thought you just got up and left. Why sign anything? And we obviously know you're kidding. So that's my update on the claw machines. Some of us are suffering through those. So let's talk a little bit more on the claw machines. I don't know how many of you guys saw this. Of course, the folks at Tulsa Arcades have been feverishly working on new skins, and we have 2 new ones since Thursday. Of course, we've got this amazing. See if we can open this in a new tab. Maybe, potentially. Maybe not. But hopefully you can see that well enough in there. We have the Pizza Planet claw machine. So I know this is a skin everybody that has a claw machine is kind of super excited about. And knowing that the Pizza Planet claw machine is shaped like a rocket, and of course, the Arcade1up machine is a rectangle, it is a challenge. How do you make that look like the rocket? And so here we see what Tulsa Arcades has tried to do, right? They're using some black to make the shape look like a rocket on the sides, which I think for the most part is really good. Like, I think, hey, that's clever. I think you've done it well there, because I would have, if it was me, I'd have just made the whole thing like just red and cut it close and kind of ignored the whole rocket thing. So the sides are okay. What I don't like about the sides is the fact that you see the aliens and like Woody drowning in the aliens in the rocket itself, because then you got, of course, your real prizes on top of that. So I get what they're going for there, trying to recreate the scene from the movie. And you know, it is just a design, so not like going to be overly critical on it. But to me, it's a weird illusion trying to show the prizes that may or not actually in the thing. So that's where this one's kind of lost me. Also, the marquee itself doesn't bring the illusion of the rocket to the front instead of having the Pizza Planet rocket at the top. They've instead taken the scene with the aliens going, "Ooh, the claw, it moves." Like that's it's fine, but that's not the marquee I would have gone with. I would have just carried through the Pizza Planet rocket illusion onto the front as well. I do like that. I mean, that's one of my favorite scenes of the movie, obviously. So I'm torn because I do like the idea of the claw, but I think it breaks the illusion of the faux rocket. The Woody and Buzz on the front running, that one doesn't bother me down at the bottom because, again, you don't have the faux prizes. And you'll notice on the front part of the rocket, they also don't have that faux prize thing. So I think it really doesn't, the sides don't connect with the front. And that's also something that bothers me just a little bit. And these all being nitpicky because it's the Pizza Planet rocket claw machine. So it's still cool. But uh, that's my take on it. It's great start, not where I would have gone with it myself. But that's interesting. Of course, the Bluey, I think this one's awesome. Who doesn't love Bluey? I think you guys probably have seen this one before. If not, this one is really cool. Uh, Nothing more than, hey, Bluey's huge with kids and some of us dads. And so it's really cool to have a Bluey Bluey design claw machine. This one I'm probably going to buy, quite frankly. Doesn't really mean anything in an arcade, but it's Bluey. It's cool. I'm digging it. The next new one is the Candy Claw, and it says Candy Claw machine. Good luck. So I may be dense. I don't know if this is based off an actual claw machine or not, but I think this is very clever. The design is actually great on this one. If you're filling this thing with actual candy inside, like a lot of people are, this one is, I think, really cool. This is a cool design. This is what a claw machine looks like, in my opinion, when you go to a lot of these places. The dynamic colors that attract you to it. I dig this one a lot. More than I thought I would when I read the name. I thought it might be kind of hokey, but I do like this one. Um, Again, I'm not putting candy in mine, so I'm probably not getting a candy design. But for those of you that are, this one's really cool. This was P Dub's favorite, the Denny's claw machine. This one, of course, I think went up Wednesday or Thursday. This one is very interesting. Um, yeah, I mean, it's very plain, but it's meant to be plain. And of course, it's got that whole Denny's logo on there. So, so I'm torn on this one. I think it actually would look decent in an arcade and bring back that nostalgia of the 2 and 3 a.m. moons over my hammy when you're trying to sober up after the bars. So, uh, very cool. And of course, we still got a whole list of them coming. There's a multi-K, there's a SpongeBob SquarePants coming, and who knows what other designs they may come up with as people submit their own custom designs. So, guys, check out Tulsa Arcade's website. If you have a claw machine, you're looking to get it reskinned, they have the templates and everything ready to go, so you could move fast. Lots of companies producing mods for these, like right out of the gate. You got GI Joel with various size risers. You've got Buy Stuff Arcades with a riser, and they're prototyping a coin mechanism. They're not prototyping, but they're doing a proof of concept. Still working on it. But lots of the companies we know and love are building things for this. And I would imagine it's only a matter of time before one of them announces they have a full claw machine replacement kit along with control panel and real timer and all that stuff, because they aren't very expensive. And if they could make a nice little kit, I'm sure people would buy them and they could make some cash there. Hint, hint. Make it a little more easy kit for people to put together. And I'm sure people will buy it because Lord knows the components of the Arcade1up one are not great. And so if they could swap those out to something that's a little more real and really not that much extra money, probably, I think in reality, the parts are going to be under $150. And if you buy it as a kit that somebody spent the time on to work out, make sure it's all right. If you're getting that for $250, now you basically have a real claw machine in that Arcade1up body. That would be awesome and be totally worth paying 250 or 200 for, in my opinion, to just take this thing to the next level. But we'll see if one of these companies does it. They're certainly playing around with other things, so I'm excited to see if that's the case. So, not much else to talk about on the claw machine. Get rid of some of this stuff. Where am I? There we go. So that's really all I kind of had. I mentioned I wanted to talk a little bit about um, I don't know, is home arcade dead? I kind of threw that in there really because I was struggling for a third topic of the night. And after talking with P Dubs and the Cornercade on Thursday, really reflecting back on this year in home arcade, and really it has been so disappointing. Whether it's literally nothing from Arcade1up, and I know most people don't really care about the claw machine. But for me, that was the only thing they released this whole year that has any interest for me. And over half of them apparently don't work right. There's something at least wrong with over half of them that we've seen so far. So super disappointing what's going on there. They also don't seem to care at all about the actual recreation of a home arcade anymore. They're doing these slim designs, seems to be the design of the future. When it's not the XL, which I would hope they would say, hey, that's more for our hardcore fans, the ones that want a true home arcade. And we're going to give them to that through the XL line. But then what is the first thing they do? Is they release a midway golden T cab that the controls are in weird spots. They're not right for the games that they have. Like clearly not for the hardcore fans. So I'm starting to think like what products are for are their core audience, the ones that have been with them for the last 5, 6, 7 years. And there are none. They don't care. They seem to just want to cater to random casuals. That's super disappointing, and really has me backpilled on this company. I don't think they're going to do anything. Pardon my French. I don't see anything positive coming from them at all anymore. I'll eat my words if that's different, but I don't see it happening. In fact, something new showed up on the shipping today, something that hasn't been on their shipping things in many moons. And I thought, what is this? This will be interesting. And it's not interesting. It is indeed the old Miss Pac-Man head-to-head. The 40th anniversary is coming back for the third year in a row where they're going to treat it like it's a brand new thing. I have a feeling they'll treat it like it's a brand new thing. They're getting in a crap ton of them. Like a huge number of them came in on Thursday. These things are super overpriced to begin with. You have the head-to-head at Costco, the class of 81 head-to-head that really isn't selling all that great. And then you're going to do another one. So now we have the black Miss Pac-Man head-to-head coming out again after all the other head-to-heads are finally gone. They're bringing one back. So look for that to show up in the next week or so in stores. Just absolutely insane that they are bringing that one back, because I don't think that one's ever sold well, and they continue to just bring it back and beat that dead horse. But again, maybe they're required to with Namco, but you would have thought maybe the class of 81 one met that obligation, but who knows? So definitely not. I just can't see this company doing anything that we want. Anything. Like even if they come out with a game that is maybe new, which I don't think that's ever going to happen. But let's say they come out with an actual new title at CES, it's going to be in a Slim Katie design. some people are arguing that that Slim Katie design is about saving on shipping. I think it marginally reduces the weight of the box, maybe. Um, but why not just still make it the right way and give us the option of paying for shipping instead? But maybe they're just like, no matter what, we got to keep it under 499 or 500, and with shipping going up, we've got to cut out some wood to make it the shipping lower. I mean, maybe they should tell people that if that's the case. Like, at least blame the US Postal Service or something, because that's a weird design in my opinion, and just sucks. So then we have our competitors, right? We know Media One Up is coming out with something. So you know, hopefully, you know, CES is when we find out about it. Hopefully, it's something we all want and can be excited about. I think I'm cautiously optimistic based on the fact that everything else that keeps coming out is not super exciting. So as we look forward to 2025, I think for me, Arcade One Up, not a company anybody's going to care about anymore. I think we're all going to. It's like the Tyson fight. I think that's a great analogy, right? I think Arcade One Up is the Mike Tyson of home arcade. And if this was 3 years ago, they were knocking out competitors left and right, dropping all these goods, all these new games coming constantly that everybody's fired up about, everybody's buying them. You go from 1 to 10 to 20 to 30 of these in your house, and you're just living large. And then reality happens, they come crashing down, they start doing nothing but re-releases all the time, and they're giving you marginal improvements so you're getting more accurate. Then they start fading away. Then they do a line of nothing, a whole year of basically nothing really, and then they follow that up with a year of basically nothing. Really disappointing. And we just keep hoping that Arcade One Up is just going to step back into that ring and be the Arcade One Up of 2021 and 2022 and start landing haymakers and knocking out the competition with these great titles that we want. And I think our hope is misplaced, just like it was with Tyson. I'm a huge Tyson fan from back in the day. I've watched every one of his fights. I have followed this guy forever. And we all had hope that he would suddenly be the Tyson of old, even though we've seen him fight several times since he was knocked out by Buster Douglas, and has never been the Tyson of old since that moment. And um, we just still hoped, right? Some YouTuber fighting him, like, hey, maybe we'll get that flash in the pan. It didn't happen. And as we look at Arcade One Up, we're hoping the same thing. We're just hoping Arcade One Up steps in that ring and is suddenly the Arcade One Up of old. And it's just not going to happen. And so now we're looking for the next great home arcade company. And we're starting to grow impatient. We want these people to start announcing something. We're getting frustrated. Why is it taking so long? Where is the stuff? Just tell us what you're working on. Get us excited about something. And, the 4KP is all we've had other than hopes and wishes. And, where's the actual arcade games? Like, some people just aren't into pinball. A lot of people aren't into pinball. When you see some of these huge pinball channels, the big guys in the pinball space of the real pinball, not huge channels. They're bigger than some of us, but they're not giant channels. So it's not like a huge community of people. And, the V-Pen's fun. I love it. I'm enjoying it. It's a nice distraction, but I want arcade games. I want arcade games. And we're just not getting them. So hopefully Glenn hits us with that Donkey Kong Nintendo looking multicade. It looks like it's going to be very optimistic, but it's more of a multicade, but we can make it look like the replica that we want it to look like, which will be great. Hopefully Media One Up comes up with an XL style cab that we really, really want, that is totally, you know, a recreation that brings that nostalgia. 'Cause a lot of this is all about nostalgia, right? Maybe Basic Fun will bring us that centipede that they were teasing, maybe. But for right now, man, I'm so not optimistic. we're seeing the stuff from Wonderland, right? I'm optimistic they're going to bring a pretty interesting mechanical pinball machine to the home arcade. We'll probably see that this time next year if it happens. As far as actually being able to get our hands on one, again, it's pinball. I enjoy it. I like it. If this thing turns out, I'm going to buy it. But I want some arcade games, folks. Arcade games. Where are these companies? They need to start feeding the beast because it really feels like anybody could come along out of the blue, somebody we've never even heard of, and just knock out all the competition overnight. Because, man, if you just built kits, probably said this till I'm blue in the face. If somebody just built simple kits of the designs, just the shapes, and we could go get the art from other people, and we could get the screens from other people and the controls from other people, that would satiate, that would fill the gap. I know that's not for everybody, but do you need to sell $100 million worth? Or could you be happy selling several, 10, $100,000 worth? I think anybody could come along and knock the socks off of this market with very little effort. And it's starting to get super frustrating. Like, why is some of this taking so long? But, licensing may take time. Software development may take time if you're trying to do, some online play, things like that. But man, somebody's got to do something sooner rather than later. But that's just me. So that's my lack of optimism coming through. I'm cautiously optimistic on a couple companies, but I'm growing impatient. So hopefully we only have to wait until January and then we get something to look forward to. I know Glenn is shooting to get us his Kickstarter going before the end of the year. That should inspire us and get some excitement going. But as of right now, I'm just like, just so frustrated. We're all looking at what can we build our own because nobody wants to sell us anything. Uh, but who knows? So let's see. I've been rambling in circles for a little bit about my frustrations. Uh, let's go back a little bit. I'll get you guys. I'm just trying to see how far back we go. Pinball rules. Pinball is a lot of fun, for sure. That fight just was a cash grab. 100% totally agree with you, B Kirby. That all of Jake Paul's fights are nothing but publicity stunts and cash grabs. Just nuts. Well, Capcom has a few titles we like, right? Street Fighter 2, X-Men 1943, Final Fight, Ghouls and Ghosts, UN Squad, Darkstalkers. Could be worse. That's correct. Glenn will save us all. Certainly, certainly hoping. Glenn won't save anyone. Who doesn't want another overpriced multicade? That's the thing, Glenn. Glenn is shooting for a very reasonable price. And if it has, we can get that Nintendo art and stuff, it could be really cool. It'll look great next to all these other things, even if it is, a straight up multicade. Especially with the, his plans for making the different control panels. If we can get control panels that are designed to the specific game that we can swap in and out, man, that will be great. The way the polycade should have been, rather than looking like a weird shape on the wall, having one looking like a retro cab would be awesome. Companies are hurting out there. They're coasting on their products they released years ago. Yeah, not all companies though, right? It's just a few in this space, it seems. The problem is that Arcade1up is still almost the only company that has been making full size. You're right. They aren't almost. They pretty much are. Like, yeah, you could argue that AtGames is making multicades, but so are many other companies. There's nothing that differentiates AtGames multicade, in my opinion, from Polycade, from what is that that big one we just saw at what is it, Rec Room Game Masters. There's just so many multicades out there. Chicago gaming company. There's just so many. Everybody and their brother makes a multicade, right? In some weird form factor with some really ugly graphics all over it, or some semi okay graphics. The ones that have good designs are all cost thousands of dollars. They're way overpriced. They throw a PC and a TV in there, and then it costs so much damn money, it's not worth it. But you know, nobody is making these nostalgic recreations that clearly there's a market for. You don't go up to the number 4, you know, video game hardware company because nobody's buying these things. And if they wanted to stay, they would continue to hone in on nostalgia, not the junk that they're doing right now. I don't want to replace my overpriced multi-cades with newer overpriced multi-crades. Indeed. It makes me angry, Kevin says. Uh, guys, let's go. Get hyped. Arcade Home Arcade is back. Uh, if you say so, Danny. Pinball is fun for a little bit. Yeah, I enjoy pinball, but I to me, pinball has always been the distraction from the arcades. I like to mix it up, but home arcades are first for me. The video games are first. Always have been, always will be. And doesn't take away from pinball. Pinball's a ton of fun. I'm having a ton of fun playing it. But it's I like the arcades better myself. Let's see here. Imagine buying one skin and changing out PCBs like cartridges on your cab. Then you would only have to buy PCBs going fed and maybe controller boards depending on the games on the PCB. Yeah, I mean, this is kind of what I want, right? I want somebody to go, we have 5 cab designs. We have a Namco design, like your basic kind of Pac-Man shape. We have an HS5 design, maybe a big blue design. We have a Midway design. We have a Nintendo design. That's 5 right there. Then you could have some of the other more common ones. There's a, there's a Sega one that's pretty common. But you come up with those handful of designs and you sell that as a kit. And they're designed, they can be full multicades if you want, whatever. But if you price them right, you make them the 3/4 to XL size. They don't have to be heavy ass plywood. You can still make them in the same kind of IKEA type furniture. I don't think there's anything wrong with having this style of stuff because it keeps the size down so you can have a bunch of them. It keeps the weight down so you can move them. And then these companies will skin them with the graphics that they're not legally supposed to be doing. Then, and they still will do that. You could do bit pixel marquees, or you could just do the simple Mylar marquees, or even the reverse printed plexi marquees. Just depends on how much you want to pay for it. But you could do that on your own. You could make all those decisions. And then guys like Glenn can sell us all the control panels. And then somebody else sells us the art for the control panels. And you just slap them into the different things. Then you could have 1 or 2 of every design if you wanted for your favorite game from that design, and then load it up with other games on there and play other ones on it too. I built that. I took that Dynamo HS5. I turned it into Akari Warriors with Glen Stick, and I load and Buy Stuff Arcade's 19-inch monitor, the vertical, and I loaded that with other rotary games and other, vertical arcade games, like all the Nintendo ones. I can go over there and play Donkey Kong and stuff on that. I don't want it to look like Donkey Kong because it's not the right design. I won't play Donkey Kong on it all the time, but it can if I really want to play it. I wanted an Akari Warriors design and to play Akari Warriors, and so the other things. When Glenn's come out, I'll buy that and make it look like Donkey Kong, or probably more likely Popeye, and I'll play all the Nintendo ones on that. I won't care what the game is. I want to play the Nintendo ones on a cab that looks like the Nintendo thing. It's the visual, it's the whole aesthetic, being immersed in the design and everything to get all the look and the sounds triggered in your memory around playing that in the arcade. That's what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for that weird AtGames design that is widescreen for 4x3 monitors that sits here and still needs a riser. And Those are fine. If you just want to buy a multicade, those are great. Get one of those, enjoy playing all those games. But what I'm going for, what I really enjoy is being immersed in the nostalgia of it all, right? All those memories of going into the arcade bowling alley or going into the fun factory or all these other arcades, and it just really doesn't feel like any other company wants to bring that to us other than potentially Media One Up. But even Arcade1up doesn't want to bring that to us anymore, which is sad. Boxing is dead. That is absolutely true, and boxing has been dead for a while. I think Mayweather basically killed boxing. He dominated for so long, it became boring. MMA was coming up strong. You know, UFC has clearly supplanted boxing, and if that was the attempt to restart boxing last night, they got a long way to go. I'm thinking my next project is buying MK Deluxe on sale and turning it into Defender Deluxe with a custom deck. Yeah, that would be awesome. In fact, I was looking at that. There's a Defender 40th anniversary cab for sale on Facebook Marketplace out here, and I was like, "Hey, that's interesting." So it's funny that you're thinking of that when I saw that. Defender's not been my favorite game, but man, I keep looking at that MK Deluxe and thinking about all the things that it could become, like WrestleMania and so many other good titles. Uh, what is the one multicade to rule them all? The FU Build-A-Cade. Yes, yes, indeed. I'm for the Kickstarter. Ditto. Look at all these up arrows, down arrows, left, left, up, down, up, down, left, right, BA, start, right. Straight up unlicensed multicade that's still shaped like it. Retrocade from the Pinball Expo. Yeah, that's what I was trying to think of. The Retrocade. Those look amazing. They're very expensive. Very, very expensive. I would love one. I can't believe Golden Tee Midway XL sold the way it did. Me neither, but that's most people looked at it as like, hey, I have a bar in my basement. I could put a Golden Tee down there. Oh, and it plays some of these other games. That's who bought it, right? Like guys who play Golden Tee in bars and don't really care about arcades and thought, "Hey, here's something easy to throw down in my game room when I'm down there watching football and stuff." So it hits the right market. I'm not saying it's a bad idea by Arcade1up. I'm saying they've abandoned the home arcade nostalgia and are going towards a more mainstream, let's see how many of these things we can sell to like pool tables and shuffleboards to, people that are building game rooms that are reminiscent of bars as opposed to arcades. I'm interested in the GRS FU. The only other home arcade replica that isn't Arcade1up is the MVSX. Yeah, and that's kind of weird height, weird space because it's a bar top first and became a 3/4 scale later. And I wish they would redo it into a better design and more games because I'm a big Neo Geo fan. I still haven't bought that because I don't like the design of it. But if they just put that in a new box that looked more correct, I'd buy it in a second. And also, if the price is low enough, I'll buy it in a second. But yeah, they could just re-release that. Instead, they're re-releasing this weird pocket thing, which isn't even a Neo Geo Pocket clone. It's just like a Anbernic device. Nintendo art without Nintendo shape is just another generic crap. Agreed. But Glenn's is going to be in that Nintendo shape when you get that add-on piece. So that's what makes it so awesome is that it really will be the Nintendo shape. I don't have to worry about anything 7 minutes away from Galloping Ghost. That is absolutely right. You can go and enjoy all those games that half work or the monitor's faded. Like, it's amazing. There's so many great games there. I'm teasing a little bit because the one game I wanted to play, the Beavis and Butthead that they have, that's like a one of a kind, didn't work. And there was a lot that didn't work. And there was a lot with faded monitors. And I can only imagine how difficult it is to keep that place running with 1,000 games, knowing that there's parts are really hard to get to, but they've also got so many crammed in there that I can't even imagine how they have to work on these things. It's got to be like some bizarre You know, those games where you shuffle to move the picture, you got to move all the little squares around to shuffle the pieces around to form the picture. It's got to be just like that to work on one of these because you got to get it out, figure out how to move it out of the row enough where you can actually get to it to work on it. Don't envy those guys, and I can understand why so many of them were needing work. There we go. Time Crisis 2, the flaw machine. Let's see here. May have to buy the DK insert. Like, yeah, I mean, that's definitely what I'm doing. Like, can't wait for Glenn's. Definitely going to make it with the Donkey Kong insert and make it a Nintendo cab. Probably, I'm torn on whether I want to do Popeye or even like a Play Choice 10 look on it. I mean, the Play Choice 10 is kind of a generic looking art, right? There's no like fancy pictures or anything on it, but it's still kind of an iconic cab. It would be really, really cool to have it looking like that. Popeye is going to give you more of a fancy design. Of course, you could do Wreck It Ralph, Fix It Felix, or whatever, the fake game that became a real game. All those Donkey Kongs, just the, Mario Brothers, the original. There's so many cool designs you can do in that shape. Of course, Punch Out. Can we add a second monitor? Arcade bowling alleys were the best. Yep. Why can't someone get Nintendo to like? Because Nintendo will not do that. They'll do it themselves. I mean, just look at they could make money all day selling the the NES Classic and the SNES Classic, and they have zero interest in it, right? They put it out there, said, okay, here's a handful of them. They sold out so fast, and now they cost too much money to get. They could keep making those all day and they'd sell them till the cows come home, but they have no interest in it. And so I don't think they have any interest in doing the arcade stuff. They've moved on to other experiences, which is super frustrating. Buying a Donkey Kong Jr. cab and putting a multi-Kong PCB inside. Yeah, I actually saw one of those for sale out here too. The full-size multi-Kong Nintendo design. It was really cool because it also had, it had all three Kongs on art kind of interlaced on the side with one other one. It might have been Mario Brothers or somebody else on the side art. It's actually kind of really cool. Obviously not a real design, but very much inspired by that real design, which was pretty neat. And did I miss the leaks? Yeah, go back to the beginning. Doesn't Play Choice and original Punch Out require twos? So yes, like I said, can you add two monitors to it? For sure, they have two monitors, but whatever. It would be cool to have that as a mod, but I don't know if they'd fit in there. I think I've seen a Punch Out where there was one monitor on the inside and a secondary monitor was installed on the top, but I can't remember for 100% for sure. You have the Versus design cab, which didn't have two monitors. In fact, I saw a Versus tent, the red tent where Castlevania was on one side and Versus Super Mario on the other. Super tempted to pick that one up because that red tent is iconic. But and to have two of the best ones on there and to see the price blew my mind because every other time I've seen one of those, they were like $2,000 and they always had a balloon fight on it. This one had two bangers on it. I'd like Open Ice 2 on two cabs. I was really good at Punch Out. I love Punch Out, man. But all right, so that's it. I'm just rambling at this point. Appreciate everybody dropping by. Can't thank you enough. Thanks for listening to my woes on the claw machine or lack thereof in some cases. But knock on wood, I get a free claw machine. If not, I'll be very angry at Pop Market. And specifically Alliance Entertainment. Maybe I'll take Kevin's advice and we'll crash one of their earnings calls and I can scream at them for sending claw machines when we canceled our orders in front of all those investors. It'd be hilarious. But again, we're in an hour and a half. So again, thanks everybody for being here. If you haven't already smashed the like button, man, hit that like button. And if you're not subscribed, please do so and ring the bell for notifications. Um, Working on a few videos right now, hoping to get them out soon. We've got some exclusive videos for the members only. I'll be dropping over the next 2 or 3 weeks. Trying to think what else straight out of the gate. Those I think are the big ones. But I have some interesting ones coming up that I'm working on that I just need to get edited and uploaded. And so looking forward to that and sharing those with you. But again, thanks everybody for dropping by. And until we have some new news or until next time, have fun.